Here's a quick podcast for all you true crime fans. The case of the missing Reeses. It was me at the store with my mouth. Motive? They're Reeses. What was I going to do? Stop myself? Tune in next time to see if I do it again. Spoiler, I will. Wow, that had everything. Reeses, suspense, Reeses.
These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to, probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is really morbid.
Yeah, Alaina was like, this one's going to be really tough. And I was like, oh, I actually have 5 plans for today. And none of them include this.
Yeah. We are on part 2 of the Hillside Stranglers. We are still talking about Angelo, Buono, and Kenny Biaanchi.
Kenny is a bitch boy, and so is Angelo.
Let me tell you, these two are a lot worse than I think you are even thinking. They're a lot worse than I remember researching about. Yeah. It's like really bad. Is this gonna
get like Toy Box-esque?
Slightly.
Awesome.
It's I'm gonna do my best to keep it like listenable, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, we're gonna tell all these girls' stories. So this is going to be a 3-parter because I also wanted to make sure that I was talking about not just how they died or how they were abducted,
but who they were.
But I tried to look for as much possible information as I could about all of them. I wasn't able to get a ton of information on all of them because it was a long time ago. It's just not available, but I got as much as I possibly could. So I wanted to talk about that too.
You're a great researcher.
I try. So part 3, we will finish up the murders and we will talk about the trial and some like wild stuff that happened in the trial. I mean, there's like a girl who tried to murder someone for Kenny Biaanchi while he was in prison.
Why are you doing that? No.
To try to make it look like he was like not the Hillside Strangler and they had the wrong guy. Like,
yikes.
There's also like a recent murder that happened in the Buono family.
Oh.
So there's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot to cover in the 3rd one too, but it's like all stuff from like aftermath.
And you guys are getting both parts this week.
Yes, you're getting both parts this week, so don't worry, you're not going to have to wait till next week. But this part in particular is gonna be tough. We ended last time. We had talked about the murder of 19-year-old Yolanda Washington. We had also talked about the murder and abduction and the sexual assault of both of these women of Judith Miller. That's where we had ended. They had dumped Judith Miller's naked body on the lawn outside of Angelo's ex-girlfriend's house, somebody who had like rejected him.
That was just like, what?
And his whole thing was like, well, you know, like, I think it'll just ruin her day.
Like, or maybe like multiple days.
Well, it's like that's going to ruin a lot of people's days, but like you're a psycho.
That's crazy talk.
As we'll see in this, especially in this part, neither one of them can handle rejection. Neither one of them can handle
we saw that in the first part when he left a fucking used condom on his ex-girlfriend's door and then cut a hole in her diaphragm.
Oh, it gets worse.
No.
Their non-handling of rejection. So by now, news of the Strangler was starting to gain attention because Judith Miller was found, but she was not immediately identified because she was a runaway. It was clear to police that she had died of asphyxiation and strangulation, and that she had been brutally raped before death. This, along with Yolanda Washington's very similar murder and disposal method, seemed to ring true to at least Frank Salerno at this point, and members of his team, that like something was connected here. Mm-hmm. They also were able to recover a small piece of white stuffing material from Judith Miller's eye.
Oh.
And if you remember, they used the car upholstery stuffing over her eyes and like taped it as like a blindfold. And they do this. This is their thing that they do for everybody.
They like leave them with that all over their face and everything?
No, because one of the things they are smart about is they don't leave evidence.
It was just like a small piece left behind.
And it's just something like a detective would
find.
You know, like detectives are looking for those tiny, tiny little things that you don't see.
The trained eye.
He happened, especially Frank Salerno, he's got the eye. So he happened to see there was a little piece of white fluff just on her eyelid. And
Isn't it like so crazy that like you have to pay attention to that?
Literally the smallest little thing.
Like so important, but it's like I just can't imagine like the stress of that.
Well, and Frank Salerno is definitely a big part of this, and another detective, Bob Grogan, and he's actually like from Boston.
Hey,
he was on the LAPD. He's a huge part of this. And while I was reading about this, I like fell in love with Bob Grogan as a detective.
Love
like
that.
He's just like different. Like he's a different kind of detective.
Yeah.
He's like very like feeling and very
He's from Boston.
He like he's like a Boston dad.
He's your Uncle
to
Bob.
me. He like reminds me of my dad when I was reading about him. He's just like this big guy who's just like, he's got that way about him, but he still like has like this like empathetic way about him. Like, but it's like very understated. I don't know. I just was like, I like this guy.
He's got a papa vibe.
So we'll definitely be talking about them. But in November, Biaanchi had a fight with Kelley, his girlfriend, because remember, his girlfriend's pregnant. Mm-hmm. He's wanting to marry her.
And she's like,
saying
nah,
no.
dog.
It's a big mess. So they had a fight, and he was pissed, of course. So he storms out. He shows up at Angelo's house, and he wants to get his rage out. And he wants to commit another murder. Because he's like, now we've committed 2 murders. I'm down for this.
Let's just make this be our thing.
So they had been talking about this for days. And so Angelo was already prepared. He had laid out all the items needed to do it.
That's
because they
so
said
terrifying.
they wanted to make it like smoother.
And like organized.
Yep,
like,
very organized. They had the tape on the counter, the stuffing, the cords, the rags, the bag. It was all ready to go.
That's horrifying.
He said he didn't want to run around trying to find these things in the heat of the moment. He was like, I'd rather them all just be laid out and we can just do this like cleanly.
Oh my.
Yeah. To
like
streamline the process.
Acting like he's about to like paint a room.
Exactly. Like, what? And so he got in the car and they drove, or the 2 of them got in the car. They drove to the Sunset Strip because that was like their place to go.
Yeah.
They were looking for a victim. So on the way, they drove by Angelo's ex-wife, Candy, and his daughter, Grace. Mm-hmm. And they beeped and waved to them on the way to go to find a woman to murder. They beeped and waved at Angelo's ex-wife
and daughter
and his young child.
What the actual fuck?
Hi, family.
Imagine knowing that later on.
Yeah, that they were on their way to go find someone to kill.
No.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It's just little things like that really stuck out to me.
Because it makes them so much more evil. Like,
it truly does.
We know that they are, but it's like waving to your child on the way to murder another woman is like, what?
It's wild.
That's like, I feel like we always say it, but it's like, that's something you see in a movie and you're like, okay.
Exactly. It's true. These things are always things that I'm like, if that was written in a book or seen in a movie, you'd be like, that's a little too far.
Right.
But it's not. It's not.
There's
really no too far. Like I watch movies and I'm like, yeah, that probably did happen.
Right.
Like that movie, The House That Jack Built. I haven't watched it, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
And there's certain scenes in there where I'm like, come on, you took it too far. Then I'm like, honestly,
no, people are depraved.
You don't. People are the worst. So yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one is like,
yeah, I've heard that one's
rough.
really rough. If anybody's watched it, let me know. But it looks really rough.
Yeah.
So this, and also I just want to mention again that I got a lot of information from the Hillside Stranglers by Darcy O'Brien. It's a really, really extensive book on this. I also got a ton of information from the book Killing Cousins, and it's by OJ Modjeska, and I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. She is amazing, and it's a really good book. It goes really far into it. So those are two really good sources of information. I also found a ton of old newspapers, a ton of old like New York Times articles that were able to like piece this all together. Yeah, I love going through old newspapers. It's so much fun. So they decided, they're going to take their police badges for the ride tonight, and they were going to try to do something different this time, because before they were, just pulling them out after they'd got a girl near them.
Right.
And just being like, we're police officers, you're under arrest. Well, tonight they were like, let's pull a car over. Like, let's take this like further.
Well, and Angelo really loved the other guy that was putting like a siren on his car.
Yes, like that, exactly. That serial rapist.
Yes.
Carl Chessman, I think his name was. So yeah, and he was like, all right, let's try this.
Like, if he can do it, why can't I?
Yeah, why not? So near the Hollywood Hills, they spotted a bright, like a lime green beetle, like VW Beetle.
Oh, love it.
And it was driven by a girl with dark hair. And the woman would later be identified as 21-year-old Lissa Caston. We will get much more into her after this because I have a lot to say. They followed her until she parked outside of her apartment complex.
Oh, God.
That's when they pulled up behind her. They got out of the car with their badges and pretended to be stopping her as police officers. Mm-hmm. She was very confused and asking, why am I being pulled over? She was like, did I
haven't done
something?
anything.
Like, I didn't do anything. But they just acted like they were professionals. And Biaanchi told her, there was a robbery around here, and a witness pointed to her car as being the one leaving the scene. And she was like, well, there's like a ton of like beetles around here. They're everywhere. And he was like,
it's the 70s.
But this is a very distinctive color. There's a reason, which like,
yeah, I mean,
he had all this to say. So she was like, okay, whatever.
And then it's like, you typically argue with authority
figures.
Figures.
But luckily, I mean, Lissa is a badass, and she like fought back. Good. She argued. She was very hesitant to go with them. She was like,
what the fuck?
I don't think so. She was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't understand this. But she finally gave in, and they handcuffed her. And put her in the back of the car with Buono.
Oh. Good surprises, free dessert. Bad surprises, hidden fees. That's why University of Phoenix's Tuition Guarantee locks in your tuition rate from start to finish of your program, so you can focus on the sweet stuff. Learn more at phoenix.edu.
Okay, let's be honest. I feel like when we were all like really first starting our periods, we all had that moment where we bled through our jeans or something like that, and it always happened at school or at a sleepover somewhere really embarrassing. Periods always come with enough surprises, right? So nobody wants a pad that stinks. And honestly, women have been expected to just deal with that for way too long. That's why Kotex is changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners like Kotex BioCare. Kotex BioCare is the first and only pad with the pH proactive system that helps optimize the pad's pH. And the pad helps combat odor and irritants from period blood. Listen, we take care of our faces with 12-step routines, but we're just going to ignore our downstairs mix-up? Absolutely not. Kotex BioCare gets it, and I love that. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new launch of Kotex BioCare, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide.
They then drove her to Angelo's house and they forced her inside, telling her it was a satellite police station.
No, it's not.
They did the same thing they did with Judith, but they ended up cutting her clothes off with scissors instead of like unhandcuffing her and doing it. And then this is like where I get angry at how they talk about her. Because the way that the two of them talked about her was like really disgusting.
Yeah, of course.
So Angelo didn't want to participate in raping her because he said that her legs were unshaven and that was gross.
Oh God, how dare she?
He said like he was like, oh, she must be like a hippie. Like I'm not into that. So Biaanchi was the one who actually sexually assaulted her, but he used a glass bottle.
Oh God.
Yeah. As he did this, so as he was doing this, Angelo put a bag over her head with a cord around the neck like before to begin the asphyxiation and strangle her. Only this time he would slack the cord every now and then to bring her back, let her get some air, and then he would do it again. He did this several times to torture her.
God, that's like what they did to Colleen Stan.
Yeah. And at one point they traded places and Angelo sat on her knees while Biaanchi was the one who strangled her to death. So This took a long time. And as this happened, Kenny said that Angelo was shouting, "Die, cunt, die."
Jesus.
Like in her face. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like,
how do people like this exist in the world? You literally may have driven your car past these people.
Yeah.
Or like seen them in the grocery store. Like, it's just the craziest fucking thing to me.
Well, that's in just the, like, that kind of torture
exists on Earth. Like,
and it's like unthinkable.
Literally.
I mean, this is like, even describing it is not even real to me. I'm like, that's not. What? Like, that's a person.
As a fellow human being.
Like, how did two people do this to another person? Like,
and how did two people that are related to each other just, we said it in the beginning, but it's just like, what the actual fuck?
It's wild. And now what bothered me, like I said, was how she was described also in a lot of sources that I found. Mm-hmm. The killers themselves tried to tarnish her memory by basically saying she was too unattractive for them to rape. Basically,
it's like, okay, then why did you pick her? Like, obviously you were attracted to her.
And I know that was a way just to fuck with her even after death.
Just be assholes.
Like, that was them to just keep torturing her after death, was talk about her that way. So I was looking for because I could only find one picture of her, and I was like, I want to find more pictures. Like, this girl doesn't deserve to be talked about that way. No, like, that doesn't deserve to be what anybody knows about her.
And especially when you die like that, it's like.
So I kept looking. Finally, I found this really cool photo of her, and I was like, oh my God, like, that's a beautiful photo of her, like, that she's so, like, alive and vibrant and, like, just looks cool.
Right.
And so it led to this blog online written by someone named Andy Nicastro, who had the same thoughts I did. Good. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad someone else said this. So he wrote this, like, really lovely blog that got a lot more information about her in life, which, and I'm going to link to it in the show notes because it was just, like, really well written.
Yeah.
But I want to say I got, like, this information about her life from there. So the picture you can see, she was, that's the picture.
I love this
Doesn't
picture.
She look cool
she
as
looks
hell?
Cool as hell. She looks like she's in a movie in this
She's
picture.
a badass.
She also has the most beautiful hair.
Thank you. I was literally just going to say she was beautiful with a head full of black curls.
Like, beautiful black
She
curly
was also
hair.
the co-founder of the LA Knockers, which was this amazing rock dance troupe for women.
Hell yeah. Oh my God, did you see this photo? It's like just the other girls in the photo with her.
Yes, that's the photo that I saw.
Yes.
And I'm going to post it. We got to post that because...
Absolutely. I'm saving it right now.
She looks phenomenal in it.
She looks so fucking cool.
And she was the co-founder of the LA Knockers. Like, this cool, like,
this
rock
girl was a
troupe.
cool chick.
Yeah. And so there are videos of them online in that photo, and like I said, the photo that's shared around is not what she looked like.
No, it's also just like, it barely even like
it's like
shows,
the side of her face, and it's just like
it's very like high contrast too, so you can't really make out any features.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time of her death, she was working, she was doing the dance troupe, and she was also working as a waitress at the health fair restaurant on Vine in Hollywood. She was very into her health, like very health conscious.
She's like beautiful,
living a healthy lifestyle. She was dancing, which was something she saw as a way to help keep herself moving, healthy, toned, and just like express herself.
Look how beautiful she is there.
She's literally beautiful.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Her mother said that she didn't eat red meat. She was like, that was part of her like health journey.
Yeah.
She had dreams of becoming a professional dancer. That's why she was in Hollywood. She seemed cool and vibrant and sassy as fuck in that photo.
Yeah, she did.
I'm glad someone else was as put off as I was as how she was described and how these killers have made her out to be like the ugly girl.
Yeah, it's like, fuck off.
Because it's bullshit.
And I'm like, you two are going to say anything about anybody's looks?
These were all beautiful women, full of life. Mm-hmm. Like, all of them. And it's like, let's not pretend that she was any different.
No, she
wasn't. And so,
again,
it's just another way for them to torture her after death, which I didn't want them to be allowed to do. She looked so cool as fuck.
There's so many cool photos of her now that I'm, like, diving deep into
She looked so cool.
Wow.
So, Lissa Kasten looked like a cool chick.
They took the stage at the Playboy Club in LA in the late 70s.
They're badasses.
They were a big ass deal. And like, look at her here. Holy shit. This is like cool.
She is cool. And she doesn't get described that way.
No, fuck that.
It's a very like off, just, yeah, she wanted to be a professional dancer. She was in a dance troupe.
Right.
And it's not like, no, she was a badass. Yeah. Like she was cool.
Right.
It infuriates me. And she fought like hell against them from the jump. She didn't believe that bullshit about the police officers, but she had to go with it because what are you going to do?
Well, that's
especially then. And it's like, but she was smart. She knew that this was weird. It just makes me really angry. But
it's really sad.
They drove her nude body in the Cadillac up to the Hollywood Hills again. They brought her body to the Chevy Chase Golf Club or Country Club golf course.
Yikes.
They literally tossed her over a guardrail like a bag of trash into a drainage ditch next to the golf course. 4 days after this, they were ready to go again.
Wow.
4 days. November 1977 in California was the month of hell.
And imagine being a woman.
No.
Because they also don't really have like a specific type. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of these women are very beautiful, but in
they're
such different ways.
Yeah, they're all different. There's no,
there's no age.
There's black, white, blonde, brunette, redhead, tall, short, young, a little old. Like they're all like, I think the oldest is like 28, but that's the only thing they all have in common.
The youngest is like 12.
The youngest is 12. It's like, there's really no one safe.
And you know what? That's another reason why I feel like Kenneth Bianchi could be one of the like alphabet murders.
For sure. And when he talks about the murders, which we haven't covered those yet, but we'll get to them, the murders of the young girl, like the really young girls, when he talked about them in court, when he was testifying, he got like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like he would talk freely about the women and be like, yeah, whatever, like very casual. And then when he got to those, it's like he knew that is the lowest form of low.
It is.
And even though he did it, he was like not going to talk about it.
And you know
So to me, it makes me think he could be that because he's not talking about it.
Right.
And he wouldn't talk about it. And we're talking about the alphabet murders that he was accused of.
And what makes me angry too is it's like, okay, so you can't talk about the fact that you murdered a 12-year-old. All of these women that you murdered were 12-year-olds at some point. Like all of us were a little girl at some point.
Exactly.
So think of that before you want to fucking murder somebody.
But they don't care.
No, I know.
They don't give a shit.
It's weird because they do care when the person is that age. Like afterwards. They don't care, but
no, they don't care about like it has nothing to do with like feeling bad.
No.
Or any kind of like moral compass.
It's just about probably how it looks for them.
It's the optics.
And what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, it's just the optics.
Right.
They don't want to get they don't want to get beaten in prison for it. They don't want to get killed in prison. And there's some weird thing in their brain that knows if they admit that, it's like a different kind of evil, even though they don't care. So 4 days later, they're ready to go again. But this time they said, we got to make sure that we get a good look at the girl. Because they said they rushed that last victim and blah, blah, blah. So November 6th is when Lissa Kasten's body was found by a woman jogging by the golf course, which can you imagine?
No.
Glendale police originally took it on, but Salerno was there. He was talking to them to see if there was any connection to Judith Miller, who they were still identifying at the time.
Okay.
When they did identify Judith Miller, they found that her family was living in like a motel kind of thing. Yeah, they didn't really care that she was dead.
Her family didn't?
Yeah. Her parents had 2 young boys in the room, and they were like, hey, like, I think it was Detective Grogan,
Yeah.
I believe is the one they went. I can't remember if it was Grogan or Salerno, who went to the hotel room to, like, show them a picture of her and be like, is this your daughter?
Yeah.
And they were like, when is the last time you've seen your daughter? And they were like, I don't know, a month ago. She was 15.
Right.
And they were like, hey, like, we think your daughter has been murdered.
Like,
and they were literally
murdered.
Like, no reaction.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and they said like that
That
happens,
shows so
but they were
much
like, yeah,
about just what that poor girl must have gone through in her life.
which is really sad. But they did end up identifying her, obviously. But he found out that Salerno found out that Lissa also had marks on her wrists and hands that suggested she had been bound, and the ligature markings on both their necks matched, because that was like the calling card at this point, was the 4 ligature marks on the wrists and the legs, and then the ligature mark on the neck, like the 5-point restraint. They all had that. That was what was linking them all up. But you put that with the violent sexual assault that they both endured and the proximity of Judith Miller and Lissa Kasten's bodies, which was only like 6 miles.
Yeah.
And Salerno was like, this is the same guy.
We have a serial killer.
But now he's saying, I think this is more than one person.
Oh, he was the one to think that it was.
Yeah, so he was like,
okay.
it was him and Grogan who were like, I think this is more than one person. So because there was no drag marks near the body, and there was no indication of dragging on the bodies. So they were like, this wasn't one person. There had to be 2. And especially Lissa Kasten was kind of tossed over a guardrail. Right. So they were like, there had to have been 2 people doing that.
Right.
So Salerno and the Glendale PD decided, since this seemed like a serial murder case, they would only release certain information to the press at this time. So they kept a lot of it close to the chest, because they were going to start keeping these, in fact, Salerno wanted to keep the fact that they were strangled away.
Wow.
But it ended up leaking anyway. So on November 9th, Angelo and Kenny are driving around already looking for their next victim, like 4 days later. After driving around for a while, they passed, this beautiful woman who was standing next to a bus stop in front of Mayfair Market.
Okay.
Her name was Jane King, and she was 28 years old.
She looks like Sharon Tate.
She's gorgeous.
She's so beautiful.
They both agreed immediately that she was the one, and they started discussing their plan. Biaanchi was going to chat her up and charm her into feeling comfortable with him. And then Angelo was going to pull the car up in next to them and be like, oh, hey. And they were going to act like oh, hey, pal, haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Like, act like they're just friends, and that they just happen to run into each other. And Angelo was going to say, hey, like, Kenny, you want to ride home? Like, don't get on the bus. Like, what's going on? And then he was going to go, oh,
do you want
my friend is going to give me a ride. Like, we can give you a ride too?
Wow.
Yeah. So he chatted her up for a while. They had a legit conversation, like got to know each other.
Wow.
And he still, like, that's
he didn't care.
Crazier to me is that, like, he got to know this
personified
person
her,
and it still didn't matter. And then Angelo pulled up and he acted like it was the big coincidence. Oh, hey, Belle, what's going on? They offered a ride. Initially, she said no, thank you, and that she was going to wait for the bus, but they insisted. And then they both flashed police badges and told her they were in the Los Angeles Police Department reserves. And they were like, you don't have to worry about us. We're cops. We're just off duty.
Right.
So she immediately felt comfortable and was like, oh, sure. Like, cool.
Oh.
They continued to chat as they drove. They didn't initially handcuff her. They were like chatting with her, acting like everything's fine. They stopped and they put her between them in the front seat. They stopped at a store on the way home and said, like, we're just gonna run in and grab some cigarettes and like some drinks and stuff. Do you want anything? And she was like, oh no, I'm good.
Just like making it seem like this is like
and left
such
her
a
in the
normal
car.
night.
Like left her in the car, so she could have, like, if she knew, she would have got away. But of course, she doesn't know. And so in the store, they talked about how they were going to do it, and they formulated a plan. So while she's sitting in their car, completely.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Waiting for her ride home.
Yeah, they're in that store talking about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it.
That's the most terrifying thing.
So they get back in the car and they tell Jane, oh no, Angelo has something like really pressing he has to do. So we're going to run by his house really quick because he just has to run in and do something. Mm-hmm. And then we'll bring you right home. And she was like, absolutely. And she was like really appreciative. Like she kept being like, you know, that's no problem at all. Like, I really appreciate you guys doing this. Like, don't worry. It's fine. No rush. So they drive her home. No incident as they're driving her home. Mm-hmm. They pull in the driveway. She's not thinking anything of it because they said they were going to do this.
Right.
Then I guess behind her head, they like nodded at each other and they each grabbed one of her arms.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Isn't that terrible? And she started fighting.
Good.
They immediately handcuffed her.
Totally like in such a sense of comfort and
totally
then just
taken
like
by surprise.
Wind knocked out of you.
Yeah. It's like getting a gut punch. It really is. They immediately handcuffed her. She was terrified, obviously, and they just dragged her into his house. They did the same moves with the blindfold, the gag made of upholstery stuffing and tape around her head. And they always made their victims, when they were doing this, they immediately always put them on this brown vinyl chair.
Oh, God.
It kept being mentioned that like they all got put on there to get gagged and bound. It was just like this weird like pattern that they did.
Yeah.
And later I think they found fibers on one of them that matches to that chair. So it becomes a thing later.
Okay.
They made her stand and they used scissors to cut her clothing off.
That also just like that is scary enough in itself.
So scary.
Just like cutting your fucking clothes off. Like,
yeah. They then threw her into the bedroom and they did the coin flip again to see who got to go first. That was also their thing. When Kenny tried, she literally told him, she was like, you know what? I may be bound and helpless to what is happening here, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm not fucking disgusted by you both.
Good.
Like she literally was like, I'm not going to pretend that this is in any way normal. Right. So like, fuck off.
Right.
Which like, yes, Jane.
Get it, girl.
Like, oh, it makes me so angry, like, that she was put in this, like, these people were put in these positions to, like, the handcuffs, you can't get out.
No, what are you going to do?
Like, there's no breaking
And then you
those.
can't see anything.
They can't see anything. Like, it's insane.
And you don't know where you are.
Oh, it just, I
you don't
hate
know
that
the
they
apartment.
thought of any way to, like, cut off all source of escape for them.
They did.
So Angelo, after she says this, Angelo gets angry and comes in with twine and hog-tied her.
Oh, God.
With her legs behind her back and attached to her arms behind her back.
Oh, my God.
Then Biaanchi raped her again. They did the same thing they did to Lissa Caston. As she was being raped, they put the bag over her head and strangled her, while every now and again slacking the ligature to give her breath. They lengthened the torture considerably until finally they strangled her to death. They drove her to the Los Feliz off-ramp off the Golden State Freeway, and they dumped her naked, battered body off the side of the road. Which is...
I just can't.
Jane was... she was a follower of Scientology, which at the time was like huge too. She had a boyfriend and a roommate who immediately reported her missing when they couldn't get in touch with her. People who knew her described her as sweet, polite, very shy, like a little, like she wouldn't open up to everybody. She was a very healthy person. She liked to keep herself in shape. She would hitchhike often, but again, it's the times.
Yep.
Because she also told people that she had this ability to just tell when someone was not a good person.
Oh, man.
And she would reject their ride if she got a feeling.
Right.
And it sounds like she had a feeling quickly about them, but then the badges were the thing that kind of overrode that initial like instinct she had.
Absolutely.
Now remember, at this time, Biaanchi was still with Kelley, the mother of his future child. They fought constantly. She would leave for days at a time to cool off, but whenever she would come back, he would leave flowers around and love poems and shower her with affection.
Imagine getting a Kenny Bianchi love poem.
No, thank you.
Ew.
And to ease her concerns about money, because she was like, you know, like, we're gonna have a child coming in, like, you're not stable. Like,
right.
you suck. A mess. So he bought and printed out fake psychology certificates and degrees and told her that he was doing it on the side and that he had got certificates. And he even rented office space from an actual psychologist who was saying he would mentor him.
What?
Because he was being told he was in school for psychology.
Right.
He didn't get any real clients and it fizzled out, but like, wow.
Dude, why not just put that time into going to school?
Actually doing it.
Do something for yourself. Like, make something of yourself.
Like, he liked psychology.
It's too late now, but...
And it's like he actually liked... Like, he did get a couple of people that he was like trying, like doing like, you know, intern level like therapy with.
Right.
And it's like, why didn't you just do that?
Right.
Like, it's weird to me that you had this weird instinct that you wanted to help people through, like, therapy.
Yeah.
And also want to do the most horrific, torturous things to women.
But I also wonder if he, like, got off on other people's problems because other people's suffering.
Exactly. That's what I think it is like, not an instinct to help.
Not wanting to help.
He may have thought it was
right.
initially an instinct to help people and this is my calling.
Yeah.
But then I think he just likes hearing people in pain.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he just gets off on it. So it's but it's like wild.
Yeah, that's his brain is like truly a thing
and
there.
He's still working at like an office place right now, and because the murders are all over the news now, people are talking about it because like fear is everywhere. So at work everyone's talking about it, and so at his own work he would engage in conversation and speculation about who the Hillside Stranglers were.
I feel like that happens so many times with serial killers, and you just like imagine being like that guy's coworker and you're like, oh fuck, it was him all along.
Yep.
Or excuse me, imagine being one of his clients that he did therapy with.
No.
Like Kenny Bianchi gave me therapy.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Like, you need therapy now to deal with the fact that Ken Bianchi gave you therapy.
Legitimately.
Like, on top of whatever you were initially going to therapy for.
That's so... Yeah, I just hate him. I hate them both so much.
And people he used to work with said later that they would be, like, standing around talking about it because, like, it's big news, of course. If there's a serial killer around here... that would be what everybody was talking about.
Well, there is.
Well, like, you know. Yeah. But he would say, so they said he would joke and be like, you know, it could be anyone. Like, what if it's me? And then, like, he would just, like, and then he would just kind of, like, wink at them and laugh. And they were all like, oh, my God, Kenny. Also, like, it was one of those.
Yeah, it was so funny to joke about being a serial killer. If someone said that to me, I'd be like, so it's you. So it's motherfucking you.
Well, I'd just be like, is it though?
Right.
I'd be like,
why do you think that's funny? Like,
imagine if somebody like was just like, oh, these smiley face killings are like crazy. It could be anybody. Could be me. I'd be like, why would you say that?
I'd be like, get the fuck out of my presence.
I'd literally be like, no, don't leave. You need to explain to me why you said that. Why did you think that was funny?
No, I'm not even putting myself in that position.
Down.
Get out of here. I'm calling the feds.
Oh, we're having different reactions because sit down.
No, get out.
Sit down, sir.
Exit.
Tell me what you thought was humor about that.
I called you an Uber.
Where you thought somebody was going to laugh at that.
I called you an Uber. It's I dialed 911. That's your Uber.
Because this isn't like
Well, these are like brutal murders.
It's not like this is like some, bank robber, which is awful as in its own right, but it's like that you're like, oh, it could be me. I'm this mass bank robber. Like, even that, I'd be like, but are you?
You're like, oh, LOL, it's me sexually assaulting women really terribly and binding and torturing them and then just throwing them off of landscapes. Yeah, that could be me. LOL.
Dumping raped and tortured and murdered women.
Yup.
Naked in the hillsides. Could be me.
Lol.
So funny.
Wink, wink.
Wow.
I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But apparently, Kenny was able to charm people, and he was able to come off as very innocent, kind of bumbling, and a little just like, I mean, he like with girls that he was dating, he would like be horrible, but then he would smooth it all over by being like a hopeless romantic with the flowers and the poems and the affection.
And you know what the other thing is? He never accomplishes anything. Like, he doesn't do anything. And obviously murder is not an accomplishment.
No.
But it's like, you wouldn't expect him to do that because
he doesn't follow through on anything.
Yeah, like, it takes a lot of time and weird, like, compulsions.
Yeah, and it's like, he doesn't follow through on anything.
Yeah, like, he literally doesn't do anything.
He would be anybody who would do anything.
Especially not serial murderers. Yeah. Murders,
it's really wild. So now Jane King wasn't found right away. She was thrown off the side of the freeway in like a very weird location. She was really only going to be found if, someone pulled off on the off-ramp and happened to see her.
Right.
So in fact, they had joked when they had put her there that, she's only going to be found if somebody pulls over to like pee on the side of the road. And then they were like, hilarious. Oh, like they'll find something crazy. Like, they thought it was funny.
Not funny.
So they looked for their next victim because they had gotten away with this last one, and it had gone exactly how they wanted it to in their eyes. So this time, these fucking monsters decided they wanted younger. And they wanted a virgin because in their eyes, this was the ultimate sacrifice. That's how they described it.
Why are we getting like satanic here and shit? Like,
now this one's horrific, and I'm going to kind of blow over it as best as I can because I don't want to even think about this.
Yeah.
Their next victims were a double murder at the same time on November 13th, 4 days after the murder of Jane King. They were going 4 days between murders.
That's insane to me.
These victims were 14-year-old Sonia Johnson and 12-year-old Dolores Dolly Cepeda.
Are they related?
No.
They look a little bit alike.
No, they're not. They were just really good friends.
Oh, they're so adorable.
And Dolores went by Dolly.
I love that.
Yeah. They saw them boarding a bus and did notice that they were young. They waited for them to return on that bus. And then when they were walking home, they acted like cops, said there was an armed robber in the area and that they would probably be safer with police officers driving them home.
Yikes.
They did the same exact thing to them that they did to the others. The same thing. They're fucking swamp scum. Like, lower than swamp scum. I hate that people like this exist. I fucking hate it. After reading this, I was like,
years old.
I hate 12 years old.
Oh, 12 years
Dolly
old.
was 12.
Oh my God.
Sonia was 14, which is bad enough.
12 years old.
12 years old. Like, had braces.
What the actual fuck, dude?
So after everything, they dumped both of their nude bodies in a place that Angelo referred to as the Cow Patch. He had taken women there many times before to like hook up, and it was on a hill near Dodger Stadium. Their families immediately went into panic mode when they didn't return home.
Because now there's already been countless girls that have been killed before them.
And they're probably thinking like, it can't be. They're babies.
Right, like that's not what they go for usually.
But they searched high and low for them throughout the neighborhoods and the surrounding areas. They reported them missing right away, and searches were constant throughout the next week. The school they attended even was set up as a search headquarters. Flyers were distributed. It was huge. No one could have thought they were the victims of the Stranglers.
No, I mean, looking at them, even in the group of all the women that were killed, like they stick out to you.
Yeah, you're like, those are
babies. Those are babies' faces.
It's horrific.
Especially Dolores.
Oh, she's little Dolly.
Like,
and both of them look like so happy in their pictures and like
just so alive. Young. You have your entire life ahead of you.
Yeah, they just look alive. Like, it just and for them to be together, it's like horrific and comforting that at least they had each other.
I hope.
But it's like, one of them had to watch the other one die.
Right.
And that was the last thing they saw. You know, like it just, when I think too much about it, it like really bums
that'll
me
fuck
out.
your brain up.
But a few days went by and they wanted to go again. Few days. So they took their usual drive down to the Sunset Strip, and now, because of all the publicity these murders and missing women are getting on the
news.
What is it called? The news. I was going to say the media. What they're getting on the media.
On the media.
On the news. Police are now crawling the Strip.
Yeah,
because they know that they
absolutely.
are grabbing people from there. So they're just waiting to catch them in the act. So they see this and they turn around and go home because they're like, shit. Now they have to tweak their plan because they have now overstayed their welcome on the strips. So they figure they will just, get someone they know. What are we doing? Why are we just getting strangers?
What?
Let's just get someone we know. That's easy. We'll be able to get them in the car. So Kenny immediately thinks to one of the women who lived in the apartment complex he used to live in. She had rejected him because she was beautiful and had taste and was going places, and she knew that he was a fucking disgusting, perverted hog human. And so she was 20-year-old Christina Weckler. She was still living in the apartments because Kenny called to check, and when he called to check, he said something like disgusting to her on the phone and then just hung up the phone.
Ew.
Like he's that person.
Of course he is.
So they made a plan to make her their next victim because Bianchi wanted her to pay.
Right.
So they showed up at her apartment on November 19th. Kenny knocks on the door with Angelo waiting in the car. So he flashes his police badge and he's like, "Oh my God, hi Christina, remember me? Kenny Bianchi?"
I'd be like, no.
And he's like, "Isn't it crazy? I'm part of the LAPD reserves now. Like, isn't that nuts?" And she's like, yeah.
Why are you here?
And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm here because I'm patrolling the area because I'm part of the LAPD reserves now. See my badge?"
Yeah, totally.
And he's like, "And I saw that someone hit your car on the street."
Oh, shit.
And he's like, "But I can help you fill out a report. And because I'm in the LAPD reserves now, don't know if you noticed,
right.
I can help you fill out a report and get the best insurance payout here. Like, I can help you." So he's like, "Step out here and I'll help you." And she's like, "Okay." Well, no, like, I'll
Yeah,
just
like
look
you
at
think
my
somebody
car.
hit your car, right?
So she's like, "That's annoying." So she comes out. Angelo pulls up and they literally just grabbed her and threw her into the Cadillac.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When they got her to Angelo's house, it was the same horrific thing. They both brutally raped her. Brutally. I mean, brutally. He was punishing her. And they did horrific things to her. But then when they were ready to murder her, and this one's really bad, just pointing that out.
Trigger warning.
They're all bad, of course, but this one just takes it to another level. When they were ready to murder her and they decided they were going to prolong the experience because they kind of liked the torture that they had been inflicting on victims by letting them kind of gulp for air for a little while. So this time they put a bag over her head. Then they used the ligature to start strangling her. But then Angelo said, "Stop. Let's try something." So they also thought this might keep the cops off their tails if they kind of messed with their MO a little bit. So they wanted to keep doing this forever. So they were like, "We got to do things that throw them off our trail." So they took the bag off and the ligature off. Next, Angelo got a syringe with a needle that he had for like drugs. And he filled the syringe with Windex. He then injected this into Christina's neck and upper arm. She immediately went into convulsions.
Yup.
Because it's cleaning fluid directly into her blood system, but she didn't die. So next, they dragged Christina over to the outlet of a gas stove in the kitchen. It was waiting to be fitted with a proper pipe, so the line was open. They propped her against the pipe with it pressed to her neck. They then put the bag over her head so that the pipe was inside the bag, and they sealed it with a ligature around the neck. Then Angelo turned the gas on and off a bunch of times while Bianchi strangled her over and over with the cord.
How the fuck does your mind even think of doing something like that?
This last part took over an hour, Bianchi later confessed. Over an hour.
Oh, I just don't even...
I don't know how your mind comes up with that.
Like, what?
When I read this, and That poor girl.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at sofi.com/morbid. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Rejected him. That's it.
Like, just was like, no, I don't
Just
want to
said,
go out
no, I
with
don't
you.
want to go out with you.
And probably just was like, no, thank you.
She
Because you
said
have
no.
that right as a human being to say yes or no to somebody.
Even if she said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it
no.
doesn't fucking matter.
Like, she just said no. That's all that it took for them to go this hard.
To inject Windex into somebody and then, like, not have it end there. You hook them up to an oven.
Her ordeal is just unthinkable.
I've literally never even heard of anything like that.
It's unthinkable. It really is. And it just, like, really bums me out. But that's what they did to her. November 20th, 3 bodies were discovered in the same day.
Wow.
LAPD homicide detective Bob Grogan, who I mentioned earlier, he was on scene. He was called onto the scene that day. Mm-hmm. And I think it was his day off. It was a body that was discovered in the hills between Glendale and Eagle Rock, which means nothing to me because I'm from Massachusetts, but
yeah, I don't know what that
somebody
means.
will know where that is. I looked it up, like, on Google Maps so I could, like, kind of get an idea. Immediately he noted the same ligature marks as the rest, and he was the first to point out that likely these guys might be necrophiliacs as well.
Oh.
He said he just thought he's like, it really tracks with how they were. I think they were. I think that they definitely were raping these women after they had killed them.
Okay.
Now, he believed after the murders that they were not just packing them up and bringing them somewhere, that they were keeping them for at least, like, a little bit. Not days, but, like, hours.
What the fuck?
And he could see needle marks on this body's arm.
Right, which is new.
So this was the body of Christina Weckler, obviously. Christina, I want to talk about her in life now. She was an honor student at the Pasadena Art Center for Design. She was very well liked. She was ambitious as fuck. She was also quiet and just a hard worker. Mm-hmm. She kept her apartment, like, super neat. She laid out her clothing for the next day as well as her pajamas for the evening.
I love that.
Like, she was just very, like, she also was a future thinker.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Right.
And it's like, she never could
like,
have
she
known.
may have had her, like, clothing laying on her bed that
No,
night.
she did.
She did.
When Detective Grogan went into the apartment to look
That's how
for
they
more,
found out.
He saw all of her things laid out for the next day.
Wow. Can you imagine also having that job, like, going into somebody's apartment and just, like, realizing, like, she was thinking about tomorrow, like, 3 seconds before she answered the door to Kenneth Bianchi.
Exactly. Kenny Bianchi. And when they were in there too, Detective Grogan said he saw, like, this drafting table completely set up with everything laid out to just create amazing art.
Wow.
Like, and he was like, for some reason that like really got to me, because it was like, this was her, she would sit
Passion.
there and just do these amazing things.
And she was giving something to the world.
Exactly. They also found a diary that was filled with art, filled with thoughts, and all the thoughts were about her amazing life and how much she loved her friends and family. It was literally just these thoughts of like, I love my family. I'm so lucky.
She's just so full
I'm
of
happy.
love.
Here's art. So Detective Grogan was so upset by how alive and like full of character her apartment was when he went in there. Like, he's like, it just really, some of these places, that's why I like, because he's like, some of these places just really get to me.
Of course.
I think of who they are. And he was like, and she just went through such a horrific ordeal in her last moments that it just, seeing how she was in life, like really just like bummed me out. He sat at that art table and read her entire diary that day. And he also said he immediately bought his own teenage daughter a car because he was so terrified of her taking a ride or getting on the bus or anything. He was like, I don't care. I'm going to buy her a car. He also kept the notebook. He didn't immediately put it into evidence because he wanted her parents to have it.
Wow.
And he didn't want it to be exploited later for trial.
Well, and it doesn't really need to be.
Well, he said there's nothing in here that says anything about boyfriends or anything about like anything that could be used in trial isn't in here.
Right.
So there's no reason for it to sit on a shelf
like her parents
away from her parents. And he said he would keep it secret unless one of her friends mentioned that she had a notebook.
Right.
And he's like, and then I will have to put it in.
Of course.
But he was like, so he ended up taking Christina's father, Charlie, I believe his name is, out for like a drink when he flew down to identify her body. They were in San Francisco. And over drinks, he showed him that notebook.
Wow.
And he told him, like, if I have to give it over, I will have to, but I'm going to keep it out if I can. You. And as soon as the trial's over, I'm giving it to you.
Wow.
But he's like, I just can't give it to you yet because.
But just to do that, like to think of her family in like that way, like a lot of people wouldn't do that.
No, and he sat in that like restaurant and they read the diary together.
That makes me want to cry. Again, that is something you see in a movie and you just start crying.
And you'd be like, that's never happening, but it is. And her father ended up writing on top of every single page in the notebook.
You're going to make me cry
Copyright 1977 by Christina Weckler, because he said he never wanted someone stealing her work. And then he said, at least her work can be safe.
That's like the saddest thing ever.
Isn't that just like...
Yeah, it like gave me a lump in my throat.
These girls are like real people. They're not just like strewn on a hillside naked.
Nobody is.
So at 4 p.m. the same day, another scene was found. Because remember, they found 3 bodies this day. A 9-year-old boy was playing in a trash pile on a hill near Dodger Stadium.
Why though?
He would play there often because he could like find treasures in the trash.
Cutie.
And like him and his friends would go there and like play. He had seen what he thought were 2 mannequins and he went to investigate. He had gone close to them and soon realized that they were bodies covered in insects and badly battered.
Oh no. He
immediately ran to tell his 17-year-old brother, who called the police. These were the bodies of Dolly and Sonia, the 14 and 12-year-olds. When they spoke to their families and the girls' school, they found a boy who said he was actually on the bus when they got off. Mm-hmm. And he said he saw them approach a car's passenger side and talk to 2 men.
Okay.
So he was able to say there were 2 men in a car.
Good.
So November 23rd, the next day, Jane King's body was found, finally, 15 days after she was killed.
In California.
Yeah. She was only found because a highway worker happened to be clearing some stuff off of that ramp and noticed a smell. Mm-hmm. Now, after this, a task force was formed to catch the Hillside Stranglers. It had a ton of members, from like different departments. I think it ended up growing to like over 100 members.
Wow.
Now, Kelley Boyd and Kenny Bianchi got in another fight around this same time. And for the first time, he punched her in the face.
And she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. So she moved out she was like, for what she said was the final time. She was like, no, this isn't happening. So he cried, he apologized. He was, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I would never do that. And she was like, but you did though.
He punched
his pregnant girlfriend in the face.
A woman in the face, let alone he punched a pregnant woman in the face.
And so she was like, yeah, I'm not interested in dealing with your shit anymore. So like, you can fuck off. So Thanksgiving comes around, because remember, we're in November. Angelo and Kenny celebrated together at Angelo's mother's, Jenny's, house. His daughter Grace was there. She was like 16 at the time.
So she's good enough to make you a Thanksgiving dinner, but she's that cunt?
But she's that cunt, yeah. Because I'm assuming you've listened to part 1. If you're listening to this, he would only refer to his mother, Angelo, as that cunt.
And like in front of her.
In front of her, in front of everybody.
Like to everybody. But she's good enough to make you a fucking turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Well, and you want to hear how like horrifying these people are?
No.
His daughter Grace, who was 16, was there. And Angela was saying, like, be careful out there. That Hillside Strangler, he's scary, and I don't want anything happening to you. And, like, was literally, like, and Jenny said later, like, she was like, oh, he's, like, being a
caring
like,
father.
He's being, like, a
that's
dad right now. Like, that's, wow.
Few and far
that's
between
not
that
Angelo, so that's very impressive.
Right.
That he was like, you know, like, if you need rides, like, you got to make sure you're not getting on the bus and all that. Like, knowing, like, he's that guy.
And then, like,
and he's having
Grace,
fun doing this, like, talking to his kid without his kid knowing.
That's like also almost like torturing his daughter.
Exactly.
And then Grace was probably like, wow, my dad actually cares about me.
Yeah, but then later finds out he was just fucking with her for his own, like,
fun
amusement. Yeah. So November 28th, 1977, they went out driving for another victim, because November is not over yet. The month of hell.
My God.
So they spotted Lauren Wagner outside of a donut shop on Sepulveda Boulevard, and they knew she was it because Angelo liked red hair.
Gross.
Hate that. They followed her to her home, and she was lived with her parents in a home in a residential area. And they pull up behind her and they flash their badges and acted like she had to come to the station with them. Like, didn't really give her a lot of information, but Jay was like, what the fuck? This was like 9 p.m. at night.
Right.
And she literally was like, my father's in the house literally right there across the street, and you can take it up with him.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, I'm not just going with you.
Oh my God.
So once she said that, they just attacked her and threw her and, like, dragged her into the back seat, because they were like, well, she's not going to come. She fought. And they brought her back to Angelo's, and they did the same kind of thing.
I imagine knowing that your father's like 100 feet away.
Yeah. And now her parents know that they were, like, in bed
Right
sleeping while that was happening outside of their house.
How do you go on?
So they did the same kind of thing that they had done with Judith Miller. And, but this time they want to try something new again. So Angelo took electrical wires from the shop, stripped the rubber ends off of the ends to expose them. He then taped those parts to her palms and plugged the other end into the wall to electrocute her. And it worked, but it didn't kill her.
Right.
And he just kept several times pulling it out and putting it back in to give her jolts of electricity.
What the fuck?
Yep. According to Bianchi's later confession, he said, quote, he brought this electrical cord in from the shop, and he's torn off the insulation at the end, taped the wires on her hand, and plugged it into the wall. He did it a bunch of times, and she was shaking and moaning, but it didn't work. So they did the same method with the bag and the cord after that.
So first that happened, and then after
she
all
was
of that torture, she's again
And they said it was like hours of this.
Of course, because they're sick fucks.
Now, November 29th, the next day, 18-year-old Lauren Wagner's nude body was discovered in Mount Washington on Cliff Drive. When she was and she was like right on the road.
Wow.
Like, unfortunately, you'll stumble upon crime scene photos if you look this up. So just fair warning.
Geez.
If you go into images, things are going to pop up. So if you're not down to see that, just warning you, don't do that. But she was basically halfway on the road. Wow. Like, they just dumped her.
Like, they probably wanted to be like, look, another one. Shocking. We did it.
Now, when she was discovered, they immediately noticed the ligature marks on all the limbs and the neck. Hillside Strangler calling card, and a closer look revealed that she had this adhesive on her hands.
Was she like tape burnt at all on her palms?
And that clearly tape had been wrapped around them, and on her palms there were burn marks, but they were strange looking burn marks.
Right, because it's like a small cord,
like wires basically.
Right.
So she was identified by her parents, and according to the Darcy O'Brien source that I talked about, her family was very close. Like, this destroyed them.
Yeah.
Her parents and siblings were devastated. They said Lauren was sweet just a perfect daughter. Never any trouble. They never had to even set a curfew for her. She sewed for everyone. She made them dresses. She made her mom like a pantsuit.
Stop.
She cooked Thanksgiving dinner for them that year. She was giving. She was kind, a hard worker. Her mother said that she was worried like about the Strangler and had warned her to be careful because of the Strangler. So she was like, knowing this now is just...
Right.
And that she was careful. She was in front of her house.
I was going to say, she was just
getting out of her car to go into her house.
Like all of these girls, they're just riding the bus. They're just driving home. She couldn't have avoided this. They're in their fucking apartment.
They're just
night.
living.
They're just living
existing.
their lives.
So they said that night before she was going out and had said she was going to be home by 9 p.m. They had all gone to bed, and when they woke up, she wasn't home. Mm-hmm. But they did see that our car was still parked out front, and when they looked, the door was open.
Oh, God.
So the father immediately went to all the neighbors and asked if they had seen Lauren. And the one across the street, a woman who was in her late 50s, I think her name was Bella Stouffer, she told him that she did see Lauren around 9 p.m. pulling in. Mm-hmm. And she said... she had pulled over and parked, and then two men in another car had talked with her.
Yeah.
And she said it looked like they were arguing a little bit. And she said what she last saw, she had gotten into the car with them.
Oh, God.
Now, she was literally coming home from being out and was just ambushed and abducted feet from her door.
Right.
Now, when Detective Grogan talked to the neighbor that night after speaking with Lauren's family, she told him she didn't know if it was Lauren at first, so that's why she didn't say anything.
Right.
And she was scared, but she said, I just received a phone call before you came here. And he was like, what kind of phone call? And she said it was a man with a New York accent who called her and said to keep her mouth shut about what she saw last night or they were going to kill her.
What the fuck? How did they even know that she saw them?
So what had happened was she had a dog, a Doberman, and the Doberman was starting to bark.
Right.
And her husband was like in the back of the house, so he wasn't hearing what was going on. Mm-hmm. But so she went outside to see what the dog was barking about. The dog was barking at her being
Hillside
abducted.
Stranglers.
And so she crouched down with the dog and was like watching what was going on. But she wasn't letting all this on because I think she was embarrassed that she didn't do more.
Yeah, of course.
And so they heard the dog and they knew the dog was barking and was probably going to alert more people.
Right.
And Angelo later said he thought he saw a woman crouched next to the dog.
Oh my
God. He got one of his ex-girlfriends who worked for like a phone company to trace the number of where she lived so that he could make that call.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really wild. And the neighbor also said that she heard Lauren scream, "You'll never get away with this," as they dragged her off. She finally did admit to them, to this neighbor. She said she had been attacked and raped when she was younger. And she said she was literally paralyzed with fear watching this. And she said it just brought her to a place she like just didn't know how to react. And I guess she was like literally having like asthma attacks while she was talking to them. Like she was literally like breaking down.
Yeah, like she was literally like probably having like panic attacks.
And she was able to say one had bushy hair, and she said the other one was taller and younger and had acne scars on his neck. That was Kenneth Bianchi.
Good for her though, for like being able to like, I was gonna say like, why didn't she call the police when she saw that? But obviously like you don't know what it's like to go through that.
Yeah,
so.
And it's one of those things that like, I wish she called the police.
But
obviously,
you also like we don't know what that feels like.
I've never been in that situation.
No. And then the other thing is, at least they didn't like, because they called her and were like, keep your fucking mouth shut. At least she didn't. Like,
that's
she wasn't intimidated into that.
She could have not said anything.
Good for her.
But police did put like a police protective thing on her home because they were worried. Now it's details like the electrocution marks and the gassing of Christina Weckler that they kept out of the press.
Right.
They were not going to put those little details in because they wanted someone that knew that shit firsthand. Because if somebody's going to get interviewed or interrogated and is going to mention something about that, they're going to go, well, only you would know that. And later Bianchi freely admits those things and solidifies the fact that he was the killer. Like he brings those things up in later interviews when they were never released to the public.
Right.
And at this time, at the same time that all this is going on in California, there's another murderer that's going around, and he was called the trash bag murderer or the freeway murderer. And we're going to cover this case for sure because it's wild, but his name was Patrick Wayne Kearney. He would kidnap, rape, murder, and dismember young men and boys, mostly young runaways and hitchhikers. And then he would scatter their body parts in trash bags all over Los Angeles on the sides of freeways.
Right.
He was also a necrophiliac.
Ew.
He killed at least 21 men and boys between the ages of 5 and 28.
5?
So at this point, no one's feeling safe.
Well, and the Golden State Killer is operating at this time.
Women, girls, couples, no one's safe.
Right.
In California at this point.
California
I
in the
can't imagine
70s,
that.
I can't imagine living there at that time.
I literally can't imagine being in California.
You
at
also
this
have
point.
to wonder how many people like up and moved their families, because you do hear all the time about people like up and moving if you're able to.
If you have the means to do it, I probably would have.
Yeah, right? Like I'd be like, we have to get the fuck out of here, but hopefully you'd have the means to do that. But imagine, I mean, up and moving a family is a lot of money and time and finding a new job, but it's like, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I have no idea what you do.
And then it's like, you don't want to give in to like fear. You want to live your life the way that you like plan to.
Of course. You don't want to let these people, chase you out of your home that you've had. But it's like, how do you send your kids out?
Imagine.
Like, how do you go out?
I would, and like, there was no like security systems back then. Like, there wasn't fucking Simply Safe.
Exactly. So it's like you're really relying on like a big dog and like locking your door.
I wonder if like dogs adoption surged.
Well, what did surge is like,
Do you remember in school when you just knew that your teacher had a favorite of everything? They would always use the same blue dry erase marker when they wrote on the board, or they would talk nonstop about their favorite element during science. I had a teacher once that literally had a favorite brand of marker. She would only write with specific markers, and if another marker ended up in her classroom, she was TO'd. And honestly, I was probably her favorite student because at the end of the year, I got her that specific brand of marker. Let's talk about their real favorite thing though, their favorite tissue brand. Kleenex. According to teacher lists, they are the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Kleenex Ultra Soft tissues are silky soft to help prevent skin irritation, and now you can take them anywhere with Kleenex Snap and Go. I absolutely love Kleenex Snap and Go. It's so perfect to have that in your car. I had a cold last week and I was just... Honey, my nose was a faucet. I hate to do this to you, but it was disgusting. Drew literally came out of our garage with like 15 of the Kleenex Snap and Goes, and I put those in my glove compartment, and honey, they were easy access. It was so nice knowing that I didn't have to blow my nose into like an old wrapper that I had. Ew. So do the best thing for your kids' teachers and stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. Maybe it'll make them their teacher's favorite student. They definitely have a favorite. Don't even get me started because again, it was me. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
Oh yeah.
Self-defense classes were going crazy. Gun sales, locks were being like when Richard Ramirez was out there going crazy. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
people just started going crazy trying to defend themselves.
It, like lock sales went up.
everything.
Like people didn't lock their doors before this.
Yeah, people were just buying locks finally, or buying extra locks
Yeah.
to just like really secure the place, because I'd have like 85 locks on my house.
Oh, a bitch. There's like no crime where we are. Like,
Yeah, and I
barely
already
any.
have like
a bitch has like
100,000.
86
Yeah,
gajillion
like,
fucking things.
Exactly.
Drew was like, we don't need more entry sensors. I was like, we need 78.
John's always like, Fort Knox. All right. I'm like, yep, that's right. So Lauren Wagner became the 8th victim of the Hillside Stranglers. Together, they would do 10 that we know of, that they were convicted of. But Kenny Bianchi later goes rogue and goes by himself and kills 2 more. So we will be covering the 9th victim, Kimberly Martin, in the next part, and we will also cover the 2 victims that Kenny Bianchi did by himself. We're also going to talk about the trial, and we'll talk about some of those weird things that happened after all of this.
Right.
But I think this is where we will end it for today.
Wow.
Because I have nothing left in me for I need to walk away from this for a minute, because this is just
Bleak.
one of the most horrific. I knew they were bad. I didn't know they were this bad.
I didn't know that they were this bad. I thought it was
Yeah.
just strangling. I didn't know that they literally hooked a
Tortured.
young woman up to a fucking oven and
Yeah.
then put a bag over her head.
Yeah, I didn't
Or
know that the torture was so extensive.
electrocuted somebody. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand how your brain gets that. Like, how does the human brain compute those thoughts?
I truly have no idea.
How do the neurons fire and come up with that?
I really have no idea. And it's like Lauren Wagner, Christina Weckler, Jane King, Dolly Cepeda, Sonia Johnson, I mean, Lissa Kasten, all of them deserved to live. I mean, they were all so alive and had so much happening and so much ahead of them. It just sucks. Like, you read this and you're like, and they were just going about their life. Like, they had no idea like, to think that that's how you're halfway through your day.
Kristen
you have no
Weckler
idea.
was in her own apartment.
Yeah.
Just like ending
You
the
just
night.
open the door and that's how your life
Like,
and you
Dolly
go through
and Sonia
unthinkable torture after
are
that.
babies thinking that
Yeah.
they're going home to their parents after
Yeah.
like hanging out together.
Yeah. It's just like really, it's just a lot to
It is.
take in. But we will end it there. We are going to have part 3, which will be coming this week. Hang tight, and trust me, these assholes get caught, so we'll at least have that to look forward to. And, Angelo's dead, so we get to talk about that.
I'm like in a state of just like, I don't know if you can see, I'm just like nodding at
It's,
you
like,
right now,
really
but like
wild.
I'm not here.
And we'll get into the Veronica Compton of it all, the girl who decided that she was going to kill for Kenny Bianchi and try to make it look like he wasn't the guy.
What a choice, you dumb bitch.
So she's also in prison. So we'll talk about all of that, because it really does. It gets interesting after, like, it gets more like,
yeah, I mean, the trial is, especially with cases
once
like this.
we get through this like really gnarly stuff, we can start talking about them getting what they deserve.
Right.
So
All right. Well, we
Yeah.
hope that you keep listening.
and we hope you
Keep
it
weird. She doesn't have her in her to end it anyway.
Yeah,
other
this
than
one
just not
is
that weird.
Yeah, definitely don't.
So that's not even weird. It's
Fuck
like,
these guys.
gotta go.
Fuck these guys.
In the automotive industry, time and trust mean everything. Miss an electrical problem, and it can mean big problems for your operation. That's why Napa believes in testing the 5 critical components in every vehicle: the battery, starter, alternator, relay, and serpentine belt. And why we deliver the parts, tools, and expertise you need to catch problems before they become breakdowns. So test every vehicle and trust the name that keeps your bays busy and your business moving full speed ahead.
Do you remember in school when your teacher had a favorite of everything? A favorite marker, a favorite element, and yes, even a favorite student? Who wasn't me, so let's move on. I want to talk about their real favorite thing. Kleenex tissues. According to Teacher Lists, Kleenex is the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. They're silky soft, help prevent skin irritation. And now, with Kleenex Snap and Go, you can take them anywhere. Stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.